Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha. I'm coming to you live, and let me go ahead and go live on Instagram too. I am here with you for the Healing Hour Live. Hello to you on Instagram. Hello to you on YouTube. Hello to you on Facebook. I'm so glad to be here with you today. Hello. How are we doing? I'm Love Coach Dasha, and I'm here to talk to you today about reconciling and recovering after infidelity. You are in a relationship with somebody who cheated. I know it sucks, but you do want to continue the relationship. You want the relationship to survive. You want it to thrive. And I am here for that. I am so on the same level with you because I've been through this exact same thing. The exact same thing has happened to me. Hey, Mika's mom over there on Instagram. How you doing? How is everybody doing tonight? We are going to talk a little bit about getting on the healing path today. And I know that, of course, everybody is always going to tell you that that's such a terrible idea, right? People give you a hard time about it. If they ever find out that you're in a relationship with somebody you cheated, they seem to like blame you, act like you are the problem here, act like you shouldn't want to be in the relationship with the person that you love anymore. And I am here to tell you that that does not have to be the case. You can be with the person you love. You can get back to love. You can get back to trust. You can get back happiness and healthy relationships just fine. That is not a problem. You can absolutely do that. Hey, you can absolutely do that. And I'm here to help you figure out how. I'm here to put you on the healing path. That's what I want to do for you. So let me make sure if you are not over here, follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe and like and all of that stuff over there on YouTube. And of course, I know you're in my Facebook group, the Love After Cheating group. If you're catching me elsewhere, you're not in my Love After Cheating group, you need to get there, okay? You need to get to that group because I'm trying to tell you there's some fabulous women in there who will give some fabulous advice to you on staying. We're not a group that's all about, oh no, girl, you should leave them, girl, leave them. We're not doing all that. We are coming up with practical advice, stuff that you can actually do to start to heal your relationship now, like starting right now. You don't have to wait. You don't have to get to the place where you just are desperate and sad all the time. You absolutely can start to heal it like now and get to feeling better a lot sooner than you think you can. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that today. Make sure if you have any questions, ask me. I am welcoming of questions. I love to hear what you have to say. I love to hear what it is that you need the assistance with to get to that healing place. I want to set you on the healing path, push you on down the way, and get you to where you want to be, okay? So ask me lots and lots of questions. All right, so of course we're going to start where we always start. We're going to start where we start every single solitary week with the two things that you need to be doing right this second if you are trying to heal this trauma, because this is a trauma. This is a trauma. That is what it is. You were betrayed by somebody that you love, that was very close to you. You were very open to. And so when this happened, you wanted to shut down. Your body goes into fight or flight mode. A part of your brain lights up that says danger, danger, and it will try and make you separate out from your mate. So in order to start combating that, you need to know some things that you can do that will actually start to help the trauma. So the main things that you need to do to start to help the trauma are doing your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? I bet you haven't been doing your deep breathing. I know that some people have. I've been talking to people this week that said they've been doing their deep breathing, but it's one of those things that's really easy to forget. In the midst of the trauma, you're thinking so hard, you forget about something that basic. The reason why deep breathing works is the fact that when you are in that traumatic state of mind, your brain actually takes over the way that you breathe. You go into fight or flight mode, your breath starts coming faster and more shallow. That's when your chest starts hurting, your heart is pounding out of your chest because your blood is trying to be moved around your body in a different way than it was before you got anxious. It's going to your large muscle groups, to your arms and to your legs so that you can fight or you can run away from the threat. Well, We don't want to fight our threat. Well, I know you probably do want to fight them, but we're not going to fight our threat and we're not running away from the threat. We are in love with the threat. We want to be there with the threat. So we're going to have to calm down that automatic reaction, okay? So the main thing that you're going to be doing to calm that reaction down is doing your deep breathing. So what we do is we are trying to clear our lungs of excess carbon dioxide, get some good fresh oxygen in, get that to our brain, get our brain functioning the way it's supposed to be. Okay. Mindy, I see you. We're going to talk about that. That's a good question, how to handle triggers. But this is one of the first things that you do to handle a trigger is doing your deep breathing. So we're going to do our deep breathing together. What we're going to do is we're going to blow out. We're going to blow until we can just clear our lungs, try and deflate the balloon. Then you're going to inhale through your nose for a count of 4. If you can't breathe through your nose, I fully understand. I got allergies. I got issues. They're not that bad this year, though. But if you can't breathe through your nose, breathe through your mouth for a count of 4. Hold the breath for a count of 7. And then you're going to blow out like you're blowing out birthday candles for a count of 8. Okay? All right. Guys, Mom, this Felicia. Yes, I'm gonna read that in a second. Hold on. All right. All right. So we're gonna do our deep breathing together. We're gonna do it 3 times. Beth, exactly. The deep breathing works. When you work it, if you actually do it, it really does work. It calms you. It brings you from way up here and brings you way down so you can manage the emotions. You can manage what you're feeling. All right. So we're gonna do it 3 times together. I want you to do it 5 times a day. I have a video on YouTube where I'm walking you through it 5 times. So if you have a hard time remembering, if you have a hard time with the counting, if you just need a guide, I have that for you. Go to my Love Coach Dasha YouTube page and you will find that. All right. But we're gonna do our deep breathing here with me for 3 sets. All right. We're gonna blow out, inhale for 4, hold for 7, and then blow out for a count of 8. All right. So make the noise when you're blowing out. Good job. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Fabulous. How do you feel? How do you feel when you're doing it? All right. So, you know what, Mindy, you said it does. Sometimes it doesn't work. I'll tell you what that is. If you are not doing it on a consistent basis, if you're only trying to do it when you are really worked up, it's hard to get back down from being way up there. Okay. So I need you to start doing it on a regular basis all throughout the day. Like schedule it out. I used to work with a psychiatrist who would schedule mindful minutes for himself throughout the day. It did not matter if we were sitting there giving him a report, didn't matter. He would stop whatever he was doing and take this minute and deep breathe and just have that meditation for himself. And it worked. It's like it was like automatically, as soon as that timer went off, you knew he was going to stop what he was doing and he was going to have his mindful moment. So you need to schedule it. Schedule that first thing when you wake up. As soon as you get up out of your sleep in the morning, before you put foot to the floor, do your deep breathing. Before you go to bed at night, do your deep breathing. When you're like getting up and getting ready and doing things during the day, go do your deep breathing. You need to at least space it out and be doing it like 5 times a day. And if you are in such a state that you're so worked up that you can't really like focus on the counting, you can't figure it out right that second because your brain is just feeling kind of clouded, just blow out. Okay? Just do that. What happens when you are anxious, you start to hyperventilate. You will sip that air in, but you're not letting it out. So what you're going to do is you're going to blow like your life is dependent on it. Blow like you have 1,000 birthday candles on a cake that you're trying to get out in one breath. You need this wish. All right. So you just blow. as long as you can. Like try and get all of the air out of your lungs. It is the opposite of the anxiety breathing. It's the opposite of what your brain wants to do. So when you are actively blowing out, letting go of that carbon dioxide, you signal to your brain, oh, she's okay. Oh, okay. All right. I don't have to hyperventilate. I don't have to freak out. She's breathing just fine. She's in control of her breathing. So I don't have to do that. And so then your brain will calm down and it will let you start to do the regular deep breathing. So that is one of the reasons why it won't work if you are not doing it consistently. If you just try and do it when you are super overwhelmed and super upset, it's going to take a little bit longer for it to work. All right. But if you are doing it on a consistent basis, if you're doing it so much that you can do your deep breathing routine without even really thinking about it, you can just count it off and do it with no problem. When you're in that state, it's easier to just fall into your deep breathing. You don't have to think all hard about it anymore, and that frustrates you. That makes your brain seem like it's lighting up like a Christmas tree then too, because you're like, I'm thinking so hard, and what is the numbers, and how do I do this? You won't freak out about that because you will have already practiced so much that you're used to doing it, and then you can just kind of fall into it. All right, that makes sense. Let me know, Mindy. Let me know. Let me know. Have you been doing it on a regular basis, or were you just trying to do it when you were anxious? Because there's a difference there. It does work differently if you're not doing it when you are calmer and consistently doing it throughout the day. All right. Fabulous. The other thing that you need to be doing right this second is you need to be journaling. Do you have a journal? You need to go get yourself a journal. Go to Five Below, go to Office Max. I don't care where you go to get your journal. Family Dollar. I don't care where you get them from. I have this one came from Office Max. No, this one came from Five Below. Itty bitty one you can stick in your pocket. This one came from the Dollar Tree. Look at that. That's adorable, isn't it? If you can dream it, you can do it. Came from the Dollar Tree. It does not matter what kind of journal you use. I don't care. All right. Find one that you enjoy looking at, you enjoy handling, and you want to write in, and write in it. That's the big thing. I had like a whole bunch of journals. I love journals, and I will pick up journals and I never write in. They're too pretty. But you got to get one that resonates with you, that you want to open up, that you want to write in, and you will consistently do it. When you're consistently writing in your journal, you need to make sure that you're writing the date, the time, your anxiety level. How anxious are you? 0 to 10. 0 is no anxiety at all. Everything is beautiful. Piece of hair. Everything is wonderful with the world, and you're all right. And you may not feel like you need to journal then, but if you're having like a great day and you're feeling good, journal that, okay? So you can remember that it happened. But any other, numbers from 1 to 10. 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. That is a 10. A 10 is a loss of control, okay? So if you're at a 10, chances are you're not writing about that either, all right? Chances are you're not sitting there calm enough to write in your journal at a 10. 10 requires some action. 10 requires, like, I need to get up and jog around the house a couple of times. I need to get up and do some yoga. I need to get up and dance with the kids. That's what a 10 requires, okay? So usually it's going to be 1 to 9. And this is to get a fence around the feelings, to know that it can only get so big. It can only get as big as a 10. And if it's at a 10, it can't get any worse. It can only get better from there. All right. That's why you need the range to let yourself know. When you start off, if you put 8 out of 10, at the end, come back down at the bottom and say, okay, well, where am I now? You might find out that you're like a 6 out of 10. So need to be journaling. You need to be writing this stuff down. You need to be writing down the good and the bad so that you feel like you can go back and look up the things that were going on, and you can pinpoint triggers like that. Just like you were asking about, Mindy, you can go back and pinpoint the triggers in your journal. You'll know that the trigger is there because you wrote it down. So you need to be doing that. Okay, that's one of the key things that you need to be doing. Those 2 things are key things that you need to do to handle the triggers. But we'll talk a little bit more about the triggers in just a second. Let me see. Real quick before I start answering questions, it's just Thirsty Thursday. I just wanted to share good news. I do Thirsty Thursday just because I want you all to celebrate. I want you all to remember that the good things still do happen in your life. Jennifer says, I used my duct tape this week and didn't say anything stupid to my husband. Hallelujah. That is a beautiful, wonderful thing. You covered that mouth and did not say it when you could have. And that is a huge part of healing. When you control yourself and you decide, no, I am not going to poke the bear right now. I am not going to cause another argument right this second. You're winning. Okay. And you said it worked out for 4 days so far. Best therapy ever. Fantastic. I'm so glad to hear that you're back up on your feet. You're out at the gym. You're doing your thing. That's a key thing too. If you got, something else going on in your life, it's a lot easier to kind of shed some of this pain and some of this baggage that's weighing you down because you have other things going on. You have things that you enjoy doing that make you happy, that raise your endorphins. So definitely always want to be doing some good stuff for yourself. All right. All right. We got questions. I'm going to go ahead and start answering some questions now. All right, over here on Instagram, Kai's mom, that's Felicia, right? Says he claims he deleted her, but he said she shared something to him, so he claims he has no more ties to her, but she somehow sends him a meme, and he said he didn't pay attention to where it came from, and he sent it to me. That's crazy, right? We're like, okay, look, dude, if you were trying to hide it, you're not hiding it very well. And isn't that good to know that he's not that sneaky? It's very easy to believe that they're really, really, really sneaky individuals when this happens. And you're like, how did I miss so much? But then later on, you're like, oh, you're not really sneaky, are you? Oh, okay. That should make you feel a little bit better. Um, I don't even know what to say to that. He didn't send you the meme from the other woman. Oh Lord have mercy. I tell you, they're not sneaky. They're definitely not sneaky. But you kept your cool. I'm assuming. It's just a meme, so we're gonna breathe through that. If she sent it to him, okay, fine. But yeah, you just gotta remind him. Hey, you did say that you weren't in contact with her. Now all of a sudden you are. But he knows he messed that up. He does. All right. Exactly. I don't know. They're so weird sometimes. All right, let's see. Mindy asked me, how do you handle triggers? Oh, the triggers. Oh, like I was talking about, Felicia was saying, that's a trigger too, to know that, he got something from her and then repeated it to his woman. And like, that's a trigger, dude. That's really, that's kind of triggering. Most of the time with triggers, what triggers are sensory things that remind you of the trauma, that hit your senses in a way that unexpectedly like send you back in time and put you back in the trauma. So the main things that you need to know about dealing with the triggers is those first two things. Do your deep breathing. Okay, you need to be doing that consistently on through. And then you need to be doing your journaling because you will find the triggers in your writing. You will be like, damn, every day at 8:24, I get all anxious. Wonder what that's about. And then if you go back and look, you're like, oh, that's around the time that I found out what he was doing. Or that's the time that he's at lunch at night and his night shift job, and I am anxious about him calling. All sorts of things could be the reason for it. But if you're writing the date and the time, you'll have that. So you'll understand, like, oh, around this time of night, I'm always a little bit anxious. Around these days, I'm always a little bit anxious. So it will tell you a good deal about what is going on with the triggers, what is really affecting you. You can, when you're writing in your journal, I want you to go back. If you're feeling agitated, go back a few hours because most of the time with trauma, you simmer for a little while. You are feeling more anxious. It's going up. It's creeping on you. It's getting to the point where you're getting upset. And it's like hours after whatever the trigger actually was. So when you're writing in your journal, go back a couple of hours to be able to figure out exactly what the trigger was. Sensory. It's sensory. So if it's something that you saw, we need to replace that with something better. If it's something that you heard, we need to replace that with something better. So be looking for the sensory input. If it's something that you see, is there a way that you can avoid seeing it a little bit? Um, Unfortunately, though, with the triggers, you have to remember that most of the time, if you avoid a trigger, if you know what it is and you start avoiding it, it will reinforce the trigger in your mind. Okay. So we need to come up with better associations for those things. If there's a particular smell, we need to come up with a better association for it. So if it's like, somebody's Bath and Body Works spray or whatever that ended up on him because he was around her. If you smell that, we need to go and get him some cologne. Go ahead and cover that up. And get in the shower and make him go get in the shower with you. Shoot, why not? Scrub each other down real quick. That type of thing. Replace the input, replace that sensory input, and get it to the point where you are not as sensitive to hearing, seeing, smelling, feeling that thing. It's not putting you directly back into the past. Another thing about triggers is be in the present. What you're doing when you are having a trigger, you are using your imagination to hurt yourself. That's what's going on when you're having a trigger. You are imagining what has happened. You are filling in details that you actually probably weren't even there for to make yourself feel bad, because that's what trauma does. Trauma wants you to be isolated. Trauma wants you to separate from people. So if you are thinking about these terrible negative things, you are shutting down. You are curling in on yourself, and you're not reaching out to your mate. You're not reaching out to other people. So you just need to remember that when you're in that moment, bring yourself back to the present. Bring yourself here now. This is where you live. You don't live back there, okay? You live right here, right now, in a place where you actually could heal if you were focusing on the present. So bring yourself to the present. There you can do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's like 5 things you see, 4 things you hear, 3 things you can touch, that type of thing. It will bring you into the moment. So right now, I can see my ring light. I see my poster of, what is this? I don't know, Bali, I think, Fiji, something like that is on my wall. I can see myself in all of my screens. Um, I can see my lights and stuff blinking. I can feel my fan blowing on me. I can feel the chair underneath my bottom. I can feel my toe is going to sleep because my foot was propped up. All sorts of things. Bring yourself into your body, into the now. And that's going to start to help with the triggers, because it pulls you from way back when it happened to now. All right. When you're not in pain. This did not happen now. You are physically not in the pain that were in back then. So if you bring yourself into the now and let yourself stay here, then it's a lot easier to deal with the triggers. All right. Does that help with you, Mindy? Let me know. Let me know if that's good. That's a lot of different things that you can do for the triggers, but you got to be working on them. He said, Mindy said, we're not celebrating the D-Day anniversary. Excellent. Tomorrow. We are going to start a regular date night starting tomorrow. Oh, yay. I'm so glad. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. That is good. That's good stuff right there. You plan something positive instead of just sitting around and being miserable about this D-Day anniversary. That's part of trauma too. Your trauma will remember anniversaries better than anybody will. Okay, your trauma is like, oh yeah, remember it's been a year since this happened. And Facebook does not help with that either. Facebook will bring up old memories from back then and send you right back into the past. You can change that on Facebook. You can go into your settings, and you can pick which memories that you go through, the memories that you actually want to see. You can stop memories from a certain period of time. You can stop all memories that involve certain people. So go check that out in your Facebook, because that's way easier than all of a sudden it pops up on your screen and you're like, oh hell, this was a year ago now. Oh my God, I can't believe this. And I got to deal with this. And it's overwhelming. But if it doesn't pop on your screen, guess what? It's a little bit easier to handle. All right. So I am so glad that you are doing some good stuff with the anniversary instead of wallowing in it. It's very easy to wallow. It's super easy to do that. But when you are constantly making those positive strides towards taking back your feelings, taking back your days, she doesn't get this day. That the other person does not get this day. They don't get any more days from your mate. You get the days from now on. All right. So you got to be assertive about that and make sure that you're doing good stuff between the two of you to remind yourselves that you love each other on these days like this. So fantastic. And that's a thirsty Thursday for me right there. I'm excited about that. Fantastic. All right, let's see. Felicia said, so should I believe him? He claims he deleted her, but she sent him a meme. So, well, I mean, he could still do that. She could still do that. And should I ask him, can I see? Stop it. Leave his phone alone. I'm constantly saying this. Let me just say for everybody, don't go on his phone. Okay. Don't go looking. Don't go checking. Okay. Because first of all, that does not help your trust. I know people will tell you, oh, well, you should have complete transparency. You should just be able to look through all of this stuff whenever you feel like it to make yourself feel better. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. You will sit there and you'll be scrolling through his phone and looking for something terrible. And then anything that's even, okay, somebody sent him a meme, not even like, anything inappropriate. It's just a meme. And you're upset and you're like, see, this is what I'm talking about. And he's like, dude, you're going through my phone. It's just a meme. It doesn't mean anything. And then he's upset and then you're upset. It does not help anything. And it doesn't help you trust. All it does is the same thing that I was telling you about avoiding triggers. The same thing happens when you are insisting on going through his phone and looking and seeing if he is unfriended her and he has her in his life. When you do that, you reinforce in your brain that this person is important. You are reinforcing in your brain. If you're like, I want to see, I want to look, you are reinforcing to yourself that that person is a threat to you. And no, the fuck she's not. Okay? Let me just say it like that. And if you haven't heard me curse before, let me make sure that you do today. No, the fuck she's not more important than you. Okay? Stop acting like she is. Stop putting so much importance on this other person, because what that does is reinforces into your brain that this is a threat. This is a person that is a threat to you. This is somebody that you should be afraid of, and you should hold on to the fear. You shouldn't heal from the fear. You should hang on to it because this person is constantly a threat to you. No, they're not. No, they're not. You are the damn queen here. Act like it. Act like you believe that you are the right person for your mate, not this other chick. Okay? She ain't never been the right one for him. That was just a plaything. That was a toy. That was somebody for him to play with. You are the person that he's in the actual relationship with. Okay, so no, don't go on his phone. He said, "I look stupid, and I'm stupid. I'm like, am I stupid? Okay, to want to believe him? No, you're not stupid for wanting. That's healing. That's where you're trying to be. You all are together. You love one another. You are working things out. You want to be together. So act like a person who's in a good relationship. That's not a bad thing. That is not sweeping it under the rug. I know people will be like, oh, well, if you trust him, if you believe him, then you're just giving him the green light to fuck you over. That's not true. I don't think you picked a person that was just dying to hurt you. So if you believe him and you believe in him and you trust him and you show him that and you keep going forward with your relationship, that's going to be a good thing. It's not going to be a bad thing. The more you try and hold on to this pain and suffering and make him feel pain and suffering, that's what's going to separate the relationship. That's what's going to make you look stupid, because at the end, you're not going to be with the person that you want. You have made them suffer. You have made yourself suffer, and nothing got better. Okay, so we got to do different things. We cannot do what the fear tells us to do. I will tell you that every single day, every time that I talk to you, I will let you know. If the fear is telling you to do something, it's the wrong thing to do. I promise you. Hand to God, that is the wrong thing to do. If the fear is like, you need to look, you need to find out what he's doing, it's the wrong thing to do. It just is. I'm sorry. I know people get so upset about that. But if the fear is telling you to do something, it's the wrong thing to do, because that's not what you want. Don't you want love? Isn't that what you want? Isn't that what you're trying to go for here? You were trying to go for love and forgiveness and recovery and reconciliation. you act like a person who wants those things, not a person who is still stuck in the grief, stuck in the pain, not walking the healing path. All right. I hope that makes sense. That makes sense. I feel like you feel me on that one. Uh, he said, "What if he can use your love for him to his own advantage?" I, I do you really think that's who you got? Is that really who you believe that you're with? If that's the case, then you're probably in the wrong spot anyway. But if that's not really who you think he is, don't allow that to keep on being your thought. Don't allow that to keep on being something that you're afraid of, making yourself afraid of your mate. Don't do that. This is somebody you love. You want to treat them like you love them. You want to be happy with them. Don't keep sitting there thinking, oh, he's going to take advantage of me. That's not a really loving thing to think about somebody that you supposedly care about. Okay. So just try and remember that we want to be loving, we want to be open, we want to be vulnerable, we want to be trusting, we want to be forgiving. We can't keep going back and saying, oh, you did this to me wrong, so I think you're going to do it again. Then if that's the case, then you might as well leave. If you're just stuck there and you're just like, no, I just will not believe anything good about you anymore, then you might as well go. There's no point at that point. If you're just consistently thinking the negative and always thinking the worst about the person that you love, that's not really love. That's total suspicion. You think of yourself as a victim and he's the perpetrator, and that's how you're treating your relationship. And that's not really a relationship. That's really unhealthy. All right. So we're not going to keep going into the whole I'm the victim, he's the perpetrator state of mind. And so then I have to always defend myself because of that. It's easy to do that. It is, because that is part of what your brain is doing with the trauma, but you have to be consciously aware of it and decide to do better. You got to do different. Woo! All right. Anything else that makes sense to you? I just thought he would take advantage of my love for him. Well, I mean, do you really think that? Do you really think that? How many people have taken advantage of your love? Is that what it is? Is it other people that have taken advantage of your love and you're like, well, I think that everybody else has done it, so this person that I really, really love and I really want to be with, they've got to do it too. It's not. That's not necessarily the case. All right. I know he did it in the very beginning. He admitted it, and he said he was sorry. Yeah, and I don't even think that was about actually taking advantage of your love. That was about something that we talked about. That what is going on within him, the hole that was in him, the thing that he felt like he was missing about himself. That didn't have anything to do with your love. That didn't have anything to do with taking advantage of your love. That was, somebody loves me, and I don't feel like I'm worthy of love. So let me go find other people to validate that. And then if other people validate that, then maybe she's right. Maybe I actually am worthy of love. And I think that's what you were telling me about. That's what we were talking about with him. I think that's what it was with him. Dad, you said he messaged you while he was at work. That's fantastic. I didn't get to hit you back. You said that he got a new job. That's a thirsty Thursday right there. I'm sorry he's gonna be out of town, but that's fantastic that he got a new job making more money than he's ever made. Go get on now. I love it. I'm gonna email you too later on, Beth. Okay. Um, let's see. What are the good stuff? He said that to you, that he felt empty. Felicia, he said that to you, that he felt empty. Yeah, that was what it was. It didn't have anything to do with trying to take advantage of your love. It didn't have anything to do with that. It didn't have anything to do with you. It was not feeling like he himself was worthy of love. And then, okay, well, if I can get more than one person to verify, then maybe it's true. But if this just this one person, that might be a fluke. You know what I mean? The same way you feel like, oh, well, this one person that's not trying to hurt me, not trying to take advantage of me, that's the fluke. Maybe he thought the same thing. All right, let's see. What other good stuff do I got here today? Oh, do you want a question? I'm going to do a question out of the and. This is the healing edition of the and. This is from the Skin Deep. It is a little question and answer thing for exploring your relationships. Real simple things. How you play is number one, you sit down facing each other with about a foot of distance between the two of you. Two is you choose 12 random cards from the deck. We're not going to choose that many a day. I'm going to choose like two. Take 30 seconds to relax and look at one another. Then the person number one begins by asking, and the number two person answers the question, and then you continue back and forth through all your questions. It says every question must be asked, but you do not have to answer the question. Oh, isn't that hard that you don't actually have to answer the question? But if you don't want to answer the question, you have to look at your partner in the eye for 10 seconds before you say pass. All right. So I'm gonna shuffle these up and just pick two so that you have two to go and talk to your honey about today. All right. Because mommy said, well, the best news is he said that he wants to pick a day for us to build with each other on a positive level. Oh, you're going to have date nights. Yay. That's fantastic. I'm glad you're going to have date nights. We got a date night coming up. Our anniversary is in like 4 days. We are going to go see a Van Gogh exhibit that they have, like it's like wall to wall, it's like over the wall, and we're gonna go out to eat, and we are going to celebrate our 18th anniversary. So that's a long time. That's a long time. All right, let me pick out a card here. This is number one. Number one says, when do you think was the last time I healed something through you? That's an interesting question for you, honey. When do you think was the last time I healed something through you? Um, my husband in particular, when I first met him, he drank beer, and I had a very tumultuous relationship with people who drank beer, and so it put me in a kind of a state. When I smell beer on somebody's breath, it was a thing for a good little while, and being with him, I felt comfortable and safe enough with him that I didn't mind the smell of beer so much anymore. And that is one thing that actually healed through him. Something that used to like set me off, like really like made me feel like very anxious, doesn't make me feel anxious at all anymore. So, well, it's something that you healed through your mates, or what is something that they think that you healed through them. All right. And then one more question. When do you miss me most? That's a good question. That's an awesome question. You might find out he doesn't get a chance to miss you because you're always together. The pandemic has done that. The pandemic has done that, honey. The pandemic has made it so you can't miss each other because you're always together. You're always in one another's face. So it's very hard to have a little bit of time away from one another so you can miss one another. So yeah, definitely write those down. Those are two good questions. All right, I just wanted to do that because I still had that and I hadn't really used it since I got it. So I'm gonna start doing those. I'm gonna start giving you all some good questions that you can ask for your mate when you're having little alone time, when you're just having a good conversation and you just want to know something about your relationship. It's something easy that you can ask that is not overwhelming to them. That's not just about, oh, we're in pain right now. All right, let's see. There was another thing that was posted in the group like about a week ago now, and I never got to answer her, but I wanted to make sure that I did. Megan, if you're here, if you're on the replay, let me know because you asked a really good question. Where did I get those cards from? I ordered them online. Theskindeep.com. That's where I got them from. And they have all different kinds. They have like for parents and children. They have one. I got one for me and my husband, which is like the long-term couple one. That one is the healing deck. It's green. All right. So Megan, if you're here now, or you're here on the replay, let me know. But you gave a good question. Oh, maybe your anniversary is on October 12th. Hey, yours is coming up too. Ours is October 4th. Apparently, October is a popular month to get married. Ours is on October 4th because I got pregnant. It was supposed to be in May the following year. It was supposed to be May 17th the following year, but I got pregnant and I found out in August. And my mother and I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And I wanted to wear my wedding dress. And I was like, if we wait all the way until May, okay, the baby will just be born because she was born May 2nd. And our wedding was supposed to be on the 17th. I was like, she'll just have been born. I don't know if I can get back in my dress so quickly. So he was like, well, we can push up the wedding. And so we ended up getting married in October on the 4th. And my mother and I rocked that. My mother and I got this wedding together in like a month and some change. So it was beautiful. All right. Anyway, okay, but yeah, go back to Megan. Megan, you said, Does anyone have any affirmations for moving forward? That's an excellent question. Specifically, just trying to get past everything and move on. I'd love to have one day where I don't have a thought about it. Well, that will come. That comes later. That's not one of those things you get right off the bat, but you will have days where you're like, oh, hell, I didn't think about it all day today. As you go forward, as you start to make yourself feel a little bit better. So I'm going to go through and read off about 10 really good affirmations that I have that I wanted to share with you. All right. All right. So let's see. What's one? Number one. Number one is I let go of negative thoughts and feelings about myself. A lot of the time when you're trying to move forward, you get stuck thinking bad things about yourself. You don't have to do that. I let go of negative thoughts and feelings about myself. All right. You are a good person. You deserve to move forward. All right. Number two, I live in the now and consciously design my own future. All right. Remember, I was talking to you about getting stuck in the past? That's what happens with trauma. You get all stuck in the past. But if you are conscious about, I am living right this second and I am in control of what my future is going to be. I may not be in control of what happened in the past. That's fine. I don't have any control over that. It is what it is. It is part of my story. It will remain in my past. However, I have control over what happens going forward. All right. So that's number two. Let me see. Number three, I embrace. Oh, no. I move through all challenges with grace. Because there's going to be challenges. There's going to be times where you're feeling bad. There's going to be triggers. There's going to be moments where you just can't deal. And you are going to take a deep breath and lift your head, and you're going to move through them with grace. So I move through all challenges with grace. Number four, I am healthy. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am calm. That's really key right there to remember that you are strong, calm individual, and you are beautiful and worthy. All right. So I am healthy. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am calm. That's four. Let me see. I'm sure I got 10 of them up here. Number five is going to be I welcome trust and forgiveness into my relationship. I welcome it. Welcoming something is different than allowing something, okay? Welcoming is I am open armed. I want this thing to come and I want to make sure that I am loving and wonderful to this thing when I get it. So I welcome trust and forgiveness into my relationship. All right. That was not, what, five? All right. Number six, I place no limits on what I can achieve. Stop trying to limit yourself, okay? Stop it. You don't have to limit yourself. Just because this bad thing happened to you doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Doesn't mean that you don't deserve to have wonderful things happen to you. Doesn't mean that you don't deserve to control your future. So I place no limits on what I can achieve, and that includes being able to forgive, being able to reconcile, being able to trust again, to be able to open up and be vulnerable to the person that I love. I place no limits on what I can achieve. Number, I think seven, I am strong and capable enough to set change in motion. I am strong and capable enough to set change in motion. I am not stuck here. I am not stuck. Yes, this is painful. Yes, this has got me a little troubled right now, but I can set changes in motion. I can make life be different than it is right now by my own action. So I am strong and capable enough to set change in motion. Number eight, I am beautiful, worthy, and capable. I am more than enough. All right. Usually it's not two sentences, but that is two sentences that I want you to say together often. Okay. I am beautiful, worthy, and capable, and I am more than enough. All right. That's number eight. Number nine. Let's see. I circled so many of them. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. My decision to stay is valid and based in love. Don't sit there and make yourself terribly upset thinking, "Oh, I'm only staying because of money. I'm only staying because of the children, and I'm really trapped. I'm not really making the decision for myself." myself, I am kind of corralled into it. No, you're making a decision based on your love. You're based on who you are and how you feel. So my decision to stay is valid. It is a valid decision. Leaving is not the only decision in this situation, and it's based in love. My decision to stay is valid and based in love. And then number 10, I can do anything I set my mind to. You can do anything. You can do that, all right? And let's see, I'll give you a bonus one. I have the power to choose, and today I choose trust and love. All right. So those are just some of my affirmations. I'm gonna have to make an affirmation like whole video on YouTube, just giving you some affirmations because I'm the queen of affirmations. I will write you an affirmation that is touching to your soul. Okay. So I'm gonna have to start doing that. We do that in challenges. I do that often in the Confidence Confidential Challenge. I have people think of their affirmations and other challenges that I do inside the Love After Cheating group. So if you're not in there, again, come on. You need to come on and get in here with me because that's where I do all my challenges. I do fun stuff in the group. All right. But I'm excited about affirmations. If you need an affirmation, let me know and I'll try and help you out with that. Okay. All right. Let's see. Any questions, any comments, thoughts, complaints? Anything going on other than what we have already talked about? Just checking. If you're watching now, if you're watching on the replay, make sure you give me some likes, give me some hearts. Over here on Instagram, I see all the hearts. They're just flowing on the screen. I'm loving all that. But if you are here with me on Facebook or on YouTube, make sure you give me some likes over there too. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, why not? Don't go over there. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's a brand new YouTube channel, so I don't have a whole bunch on there, but I have been starting to do the word of the week videos. I've been starting to make sure that there's some content up there that's not in the group, that's not on Instagram. So go check that out. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else? Oh, who was it? Where is it? Kelly was talking about cheating back. Um, and so many women in my group, let me tell you how proud I am of them because so many women were like, everything you're feeling is normal, but don't do it. It's not worth it. That's exactly how I felt when I found out. Don't do it. You'll regret it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. And just watch for to relieve a little stress. But like I'm saying, really good advice not to do something that is out of your character because the whole thing is if it is so out of your character to cheat that you feel like having a one night stand with somebody just to cheat back is how you're going to feel better, it's not going to make you feel any better. You're just going to be out here having sex with somebody you have no connection with and feeling worse about yourself because then what kind of person does that make you? Because then that's your question. Then you're like, well, if I was so mad about him cheating, then what kind of person does it make me if I'm going out and cheating back? So absolutely do not do that. If you have the urge to do that, don't cheat back. Okay. You are not this other person. You are not your mate. You do not make decisions like this lightly. If this has hurt you so badly, you don't want to be a hypocrite. You don't want to be out here doing the exact same thing that you said was so terrible. All right. So I am loving all the advice. Okay. Somebody said, oh, Bambi said it might actually make him feel more justified in what he did. That's exactly what happens a lot of the time. Then they feel all justified. Then they're like, well, you cheated too, so I could cheat too. And then you never get to have the moral high ground again. And that is super important, okay? It's going to make you feel better to have the moral high ground, to know that you weren't the one doing anything wrong. And that if you are going to move forward and heal, you are going to move forward and heal with just the feelings that you have and not because you've run out and had sex with somebody else. So that is fantastic. Like I said, my group of women, it's thousands, it's like over 2,000 women. There's like 2,500 women in this group who are all staying, who all want to be in their relationship, and who are giving fantastic advice that is not leave them. So if you're not in my group, you need to come get in my group, okay? Oh, let's Anything else? Rebecca asked about if she. It says, "Have you ever felt like you fell out of love in this process?" So I'm feeling that way after a big fight we had, and it makes me feel very confused because I know I want to forgive him, and he's doing everything he can to repair our relationship. So why suddenly do I want to leave everything behind? Remember, we were talking about that. That's the trauma. Your brain on trauma says, "Get away, run." Get away from this person. And see, we had a fight again. So that means that they're not to be trusted. They're still the perpetrator. And you're still the victim. And you need to run. That's what it is. This happens a lot when things start to get a little bit better, when they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and you're feeling pretty confident, and you're letting down some of those walls, your brain starts to scream. Your brain does not like for you to actually decide on a little bit of vulnerability and start letting the walls down. So that's what happens, but you just got to recognize that that's what's happening and decide not to do it. So just remember what your decision is. Your decision, and that's the key to the dream streaming. That's the very first thing that you're going to have to do is make your decision. And you made your decision. You want to be there. You want to repair the relationship. So just keep a hold on that. When things are going strangely, when you are all of a sudden feeling like, oh, I need to run, remember what your decision was. Your brain is going to tell you to run a whole bunch of times. That's fine. It can say that all it wants to. You just don't have to listen to it. Okay. That's the key thing. Stop listening to what the fear says. The fear does not want good things for you. The fear wants you to be alone. The fear wants you isolated. The fear wants you to not be with anybody, not just not be with your mate, not just not be with the person that you love. It wants you to not be with anyone because then it says, well, you can't get hurt by people if you're not around people. But that's not true. It's a lie. Your brain is lying to you. You can still be hurt. You will just be alone and hurt. And that sucks even more. It's much, much better to have somebody to be hurting with, isn't it? That's the way I feel about it. All right. All right, so y'all, I have had a fun time tonight. I love you all coming to ask me questions. Thank you so much for joining me. Anything else? Any other thoughts? Questions? You said, and all right, Felicia said, it's not worth it. I learned to love myself. Yes, do not go cheat back. It just makes you feel bad. Then you're like, well, I'm no better than he is. You want to be better than he is for a while. You gotta feel like you're better than he is. You're not actually, not in like reality. You are people and people mess up all the time. But you'll feel like you're ahead of them. You'll feel like in the game you are the more moral person for a little while, and that will stop you from doing things that you don't necessarily want to do, but the pain will make you think that you want to do. So I used to think that way, but I can't do it. Yeah, because I was like, well, why the hell do I have to go sleep with somebody else just because you can't keep it in your pants? That's dumb. I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to have to go and try and like link up with somebody and we got to talk and and okay, if you tell them, okay, yeah, I got a man, but I'm just trying to cheat back. Then what kind of dude is that sleeps with you? That's not somebody you can trust either. So no. I just say it's a bad idea. It's a no for me. It's a no for me. And hopefully it's a no for you. Now, I know people have done it. I know plenty of women have cheated back. And I get it. I understand the idea behind it. But it just puts you in a bad position, makes you just as bad as they are. You're not any more moral. You're not any more right than they are. You're just the same and you can't argue about it anymore. Now you got to let the whole thing go. Now you can't talk about it anymore because you have done the exact same thing. And so if that's the case, then they can keep on bringing it up with you too. So don't set yourself up for failure like that. All righty, y'all. I got any other questions? Oh, you say, oh, to me, it will hurt him to lose me, and I did the right thing and didn't cheat or lie or et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, exactly. It will hurt him to lose you. He will recognize because you see it came right back. So he definitely wanted to be with you. But if you had gone out and cheated, then he would have been like, "Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. You can't be trusted either. That's why I went ahead and did it because no woman can be trusted." It's a whole thing. Then it rolls downhill from there because then they get justified in what they did, and that's what it is. When you go cheat back, it's because you feel like you're justified. That's a very dangerous thing. Don't get into a place where you're like, oh, I'm justified in behaving this way. Because chances are you're wrong. If you got to justify your actions, you're doing the wrong thing. Okay? Let me say it both cameras. If you're justifying your actions, you're doing the wrong thing. If you are justifying your actions, you are doing the wrong thing. If you have to come up with a reason why this is okay for you to do, you're doing the wrong thing. And so now you're in the wrong and he's in the wrong and nobody's getting anywhere because we're just going to keep arguing about how wrong we are. He said it would make me happy to know he will never have a woman that will be like me. I know that's right. Now what I'm talking about is the queen thing. You know what I'm saying? He can't just pick up another queen. You can't just do that. Can't just be like, oh, here, let me go pick one out from the grocery store. You can't do that. And he has to worry about the next woman and the drama they bring, and it will be worse than me. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. My husband, I was like, dude, why do you keep trying to have more than one woman? One woman is difficult enough, okay? One woman is fine. Why are you trying to up the difficulty level for yourself? That's exhausting. How are you going to try and keep two women happy? You got to work on making me happy, and then you got to try and make a whole other separate woman happy. That sounds like a lot of trouble. That sounds like a lot of stress, a lot of pain for no reason. So let's not do that. Let's not get all clever and think that we can handle more than one woman at a time. I don't know a man that can really handle more than one woman at a time. People go into like polyamorous relationships, but the thing is with that is it's not just that one man trying to be everything for all those women. They all have relationships together. You have other people to depend on. So trying to hide relationships, trying to have one here and then hide the other one and then hide another one over here, that's exhausting. That looks like a lot of trouble. That just looks like something I wouldn't be able to handle. I don't get why men keep trying to do it because they do complain about how picky we are and how high maintenance we are as women, but then you want to pick up another one? Dude, seriously, don't do it. Right? But yes, he can't just go pick up another queen from the grocery store. He has a queen that he recognizes because he came right back and made sure that he got back with you. So he recognizes that. And to everybody who's watching, he recognizes that you are valuable. You are worth it. You just got to act like that. That's the whole thing. Act like you are valuable and worthy and act like you love this person that you love. That's like the simplest way to get on the healing path. Um, love the person that you love and don't be ashamed of it. And if anybody tries to make you ashamed of it, fuck them. If anybody's trying to make you ashamed of loving who you love, screw them because they not living with the love of their lives. That's not your path. That doesn't mean that has to be your path. You can have the person that you love and you can have happiness and a hope and a healthy relationship. We are years past it. We've been married for 18 years. We've been together for 20. This was the first 4 years of our relationship that he was cheating. All the other years after that, he wasn't. Okay? You can get to a place where they stop the madness, they stop the foolishness, and then you have this great relationship that lasts for the rest of your life. And that's exactly what I'm experiencing right now. And that's what I want to help you experience by helping push you along the healing path. All right. So, again, I will be back here doing this exact same thing next week, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope that you join me again because I have had a wonderful time talking to you live this time. I hope you come back and ask me more questions. If you're catching this on the replay, feel free, ask me questions. I will answer you. I will let you know what the answer to your question is because I want to help you along the healing path. So, all that being said, make sure that you are making healing choices. Do not do what the fear tells you to do and get on the healing path and stay there. Okay? All right, y'all. I will catch you again next week, same time. All right? Bye.